Hi, good evening, everyone. Evening, everyone. Hi, evening. Hi, good evening, everyone. Okay, let's start. Yeah, today we'll be studying BCSBI. Now, what is this BCSBI? Banking Codes and Standards Boards of India. Have you seen anyone? Has anyone seen this BCSBI codes anywhere in the bank? Where have you seen this BCSBI? Where have you seen this? Hi, yeah. BCSBI. These codes are there in the bank or nowadays not there? They have been stopped? BCSBI? Anyone? Yeah. What do you say? Hi, yeah. Anyone? Anyone? Hi. See this. Basically, codes for banking service, banking codes and standards boards of India. Now, what is this? These were the codes. Yeah. Hey. Acha. These were the codes given by RBI. Not RBI actually. It is a voluntary organization. It was a voluntary organization, and that organization used to give the rules, regulations for the code for the with how the mm this delivery of the services should be done to the customers. Good evening, everyone. How the delivery of the services should be done, what should be the TAT and all these things. Okay. So these standards are means now even now they are used in the banking. But I'll tell you one important fact about this BCSBI. Okay, the important you have seen this BCSBI codes. Anyone in the banking? Have you seen this? Where are those? Those codes are those, right? Where they are when you enter the branch in that plastic folder. You have kept that BCSBI. Everyone, isn't it? Have you seen this? Have you ever read that BCSBI? Anyone? Or just they are hanging there and nobody looks at it? Not even customers, not nor the employees. Nobody looks at this BCSBI codes, isn't it? Is it there? Yeah. These are hanging there and nobody looks at it, right? So these codes BCSBI should be updated on a on a version basis. They are all these versions are given. Okay. Now there is a circular from RBI that BCSBI needs to be dissolved. There is a circular from RBI on 28th September. Okay, 28th September 2021. Everyone, even in your banks, you might be having those codes right now, isn't it? You might be having those codes hanging in the branch, right? Now these codes have been, this BCSBI has been dissolved. Okay, but that doesn't mean that your service to the customer, your standard should go down. Okay. So if the question comes on BCSBI, see here, firstly it has gone for dissolution on in September 2021 only. So it is prescribed has prescribed various compliance requirements for the promises made by the banks to offer services to the retail banking customers. Now what has happened is when we promise to certain customers that delivery of DD in 2 hours or cash transaction in so and so time. So when we promise to that customer, we must deliver. So that is the basic principle of BCSBI. Okay. Now I'll show you this circular also. One second. All you guys just see this circular also. Then we'll go ahead. Say this. On 28th September 2021, the member banks passed a resolution approving BCSBI dissolution. Accordingly, it has stopped its operation and it's under dissolution. So this RBI had given a circular for dissolution of the same. Now, if the question in the exam comes about BCSBI, you can definitely write that it is already dissolved. Okay, but even though it is dissolved, then also you'll get certain questions on this. Means what was the this was a voluntary code, and its organization was also voluntary. It sets minimum standards for banking practices for banks to follow when they are dealing with the individual customers. So whenever the banks are dealing with the customers, each and every customer, we need to follow the TATs, turnaround times. Okay. It provides protection to the customers and explains how banks are expected to deal. Okay, means that simple how to deal with the customers. Keep it very simple. Okay, and what should be your TATs? The code does not replace or supersede the regulatory supervisory instructions of RBI. Means even this code, whatever the RBI has said, that is supreme ultimately. Okay. Now, important part over here is the points over here. Objectives of the code means why this code was existing. It's still there in your books also. Means from the books it has not been removed. So to promote good and fair banking practices by setting minimum standards in dealing with your increased transparency, so that you can have a better understanding of what can be what can you can reasonably expect from the of the services. Means what the customer can expect from the bank. Now, what do you mean by this? See here, understand one important part. Firstly, tell me, you guys have seen this VCSBI code, or you have never seen it, or just seen it hanging over there? Has anyone read these codes in the banks? VCSBI codes? Has anyone gone through these codes? Isn't it? It's just hanging there like that PAF. There, what are the circulars hanging in your branch whenever we enter? One is how many employees are there, then the PF, then banks, balance sheets, isn't it? And one of them is this BCSBI, isn't it? Yeah. Rate of interest, that is also important. Yeah. So all these things, one of them is BCSBI, isn't it? None of the employees, none of the managers, nobody looks at it. Now the point is, every BCSBI used to have a version. There used to be a version of BCSBI, and we never look into this version actually. Now the question might come to you about the dissolution, number one, and number two, what is expected about this BCSBI. Encourage market forces through competition to achieve higher operating standards, promote a fair and cordial relationship between the customer and the bank. So if the TAT is followed by the bank, then what happens? The customer is also happy, and no argument comes in between, right? The code applies to all the products and services listed below. Below means in the banks, okay? Whether they are provided by the branches or subsidiaries or agents on the behalf of the bank. Across the counter, over the phone, by post, means even some DSA is working under your bank. Then also that DSA also comes under these codes. Current account, savings account, term deposits, recurring, PPF and all deposit accounts, these BCSBI codes do apply. Now, payment services such as pension, payment orders, remittance by way of demand drafts, wire transfers, all electronic transactions, RTGS, everything. Means basically every banking function will be governed by this BCSBI code. Okay. Banking services related, now you can read this. Banking services related to government transactions, demat accounts, equity, government bonds, means basically even government banking is controlled under BCSBI. Collection of checks, safe custody services, safe deposit locker, means all these things. Now what has happened is, what's the use of this BCSBI, and why the RBI has gone for a dissolution of that? Because what has happened nowadays, we have various other bodies also. In the sense, we have that ombudsman scheme, right? So under ombudsman, if some TAT is not followed, then what happens? Customer can definitely go back to ombudsman in any case if there is a financial loss. Okay, so ombudsman is there. Then for loans we have DRTs. So because of that, this RBI felt that this body, BCSBI body, is of hardly any significance now. But then also still the banks follow these codes. Many, almost 90% banks still follow this code. And in exam also you get the questions on this. Foreign exchange services, including money changing, third party insurance. Now insurance here, insurance is not your product actually. But then also this CSBI codes, a code applies to this insurance also. Investment products sold to ATMs, miss here, even ATMs are covered under all these standards. Okay, ATM, smart cards, POS is also covered under this. Now important part is do not call. Now you'll always get one question on do not call in retail banking. What do you mean by DNC? Means we always give one, you give it in writing, right, to this phone companies, do not call. Similarly, customer can give it to you in writing in bank also about DNC. Means he gives you the number, but it ticks over there that please do not call. Has anyone seen this DNC? Do not call service? Has anyone seen this? Means have you seen this discussed with this customer anytime? That do not call. In fact, what happens is in India, 99% of the customers feel that okay, number is given to the bank, so bank will definitely call. But basically, some 1 or 2% customers always feel offended when you call them for any service, anything which you want to tell, new product which you want to tell them, they feel offended. So that's why DNC service needs to be followed by the bank at any cost. If some customer has given in writing that please do not call, then you need not call that customer for new products, promotion. Okay. So DNC service, bank will automatically register customer's name under do not call service. Bank will inform extend to the customer through telephone, SMS, email, any new product. So bank will not inform. See here, bank will never inform if you give it in writing about the DNC. Bank will never inform about the new products of theirs. This should be followed by us also. Okay. Now interest rates. Now this part, interest rates, this does not come under DNC. Means if there is an interest rate change in the bank and bank wants to inform the customer, then this does not form a part of DNC. Only promotions form the part of DNC. Other than promotion, any compulsory communication which is to be done, like interest rate or some EMI spending, so those are not covered under DNC. Bank shall inform to the customers interest rate of deposits, loans, etc. In case of loans at fixed rates, details of the interest rate reset clause, if any, then that will be informed by the bank. Okay. Whether the loan agreement will contain minimum rate of interest clause, means all these things which are compulsory ones, those need to be informed by the bank to the customers. If changes in interest rates, so changes in interest rates and changes in the reference rates to which the floating rate of interest is linked to be informed by any one or of the following means. Now, whenever there is a change in interest rate for any loan, for any customer, generally we get the letter for home loan, right? Because we generally take home loans. So information to that customer should be given generally by letters also it is given. One letter is also sent, email is also sent, SMS is also sent, notice at the branch is also given. So all these 4 to 5 angles, bank informs the customer because that is compulsory. Otherwise, what happens? Customer, if tomorrow there is a change in interest rate and you don't inform the customer, some customer might um, take you to court that although the rate of interest was changed, but it was not informed to me by the bank. So that's why these things need to be informed by whichever means possible. Okay. Changes in fees and charges. If the bank increases any of the charges or introduces new charges, it will be notified 1 month prior to the revised charge being levied and being effective. So here, the exam question over here is what time? Okay. Time is always 1 month, remember. Okay. So 1 month prior, you have to inform the customer that we have changed our rate of interest, or whatever fees, extra fees we have changed, or some DD charges you have changed. So you have to inform the customer 1 month prior, either through any of these means you can put a notice at the branch level also. Okay. Privacy and confidentiality. If the bank is asked to give banker's reference about a customer, bank will need customer's permission before giving it. Means what? Sir, if I want to share my data with my subsidiary company also, means if SBI is a bank and customer is the is the customer of SBI, and SBI wants to share the data with its subsidiary like SBI Life, then it needs to have the permission from the customer also. Okay. Bank will not use customers' personal information for marketing purpose by anyone, including the bank, unless customer specifically authorizes to do so. Means if the customer doesn't want you to inform them about any new products, you need not inform them. Even your own products, forget the third party products. Okay. See, these things are hardly followed nowadays in banking. Means very few banks care about these all points now, because SMSs are sent generally to each and everyone. Calling is done to each and every customer, isn't it? But from the exam point of view, rules are rules. Okay. Credit reference agencies. Information about the credit availed from the bank is reported by the bank to CRA on monthly basis. Now, what do you mean by this? Credit availed from the bank means if any customer is taking a loan from the bank, so that needs to be pointed out to CRA, credit reference agencies. Now, who are those credit reference agencies? These agencies are private agencies. Private means not private actually. These are third party agencies. They are formed by the government as such. If the customer's loan has been in default and thereafter regularized, banks will take steps to update the information to the CRA in the next monthly report. So if there is an NPA and then the customer gives it a standard, becomes a standard customer again, means he repays the loan or anything happens. Because it can happen that if some loan is NPA, but customer later pays the amount and becomes a standard customer. Now, important point you always remember over here. Even the NPA customer can someday become a standard customer if the customer repays the loan completely or brings the loan to order. So we can directly transfer that customer from NPA to this standard loan as such. Okay, what are the levels of NPAs? What are the levels of NPAs? Anyone? Here. For NPA, how does it move here? Firstly, it is what? SMA 0. Everyone pay attention, those who are new to the banking. Okay, SMA 0, then SMA 1, SMA 2, right? Anyone knows what is this SMA? Right? SMA 0, 1 and 2, right? From what is SMA 0? Between 0 to 30 days. Here, if there is any chance that the loan 0 to 30 days, that the customer will default, then if we come to know within 0 to 30 days, then the account goes into SMA 0. If we come to know between 31 to 60 days, means one EMI gets bounced over here. Then immediately in the second month, it goes to SMA 1. If again the EMI gets bounced, two EMIs gets bounced, then this loan goes from 61 to 90 days and it goes to SMA 2. Always remember, these three levels are not NPA. These three levels are not NPA, not, I'll write it, not NPA, okay? But to be NPA, they might become NPA, okay? Yeah, SMA, yeah. But, yeah, special mention account, correct. SME means special mention account. Means what? Special mention means what? These accounts are about to become NPA. I'll write it over here, okay? One sec. Special mention, okay? Account. So it means that these accounts are doubtful category. Means doubtful means they are not NPA, but they can become NPA. So remember SMA 0, 1 and 2. SMA 0 is 0 to 30 days, 1 is 31 to 60 and 2 is 61 to 90 days. Okay. Now, after this, once it crosses this SMA level, then comes the level of NPA. Now, NPA is divided into again 3 to 4 types. One is substandard. Substandard. I'll write it full. Okay. Because many of you are new in the banking, means not handled those things. Okay. Substandard. Substandard means what? Okay. Who can tell me about substandard loans? Substandard loans are between which period? When the loan becomes NPA, it first becomes substandard. Everyone understand this. When the loan becomes NPA, it first becomes substandard. In substandard, what happens is the loan is in NPA from 0 days, or you can call 0 to 365, first year. But this 0 days start after this. Means first 90 days over, these are for SMA, and even then this is not paid, then it becomes NPA. After SMA2, it directly jumps to substandard, 0 to 365 days. After this 0 to 365, then the loan becomes doubtful category. Doubtful, okay? Doubtful category, okay? Again in doubtful category, you have two categories. Doubtful one. Doubtful one means it starts from this next day, 365 over year. So it will start from the second year. So 1 year is over year, 1 year. So this will start from 1 year to 2 years. Okay, means 365 to next 365. This will be doubtful one category. After that, once even the loan is not paid in this category, then it becomes doubtful two. Now doubtful two category, everyone pay attention. Yeah, doubtful two category, it moves from who's writing this? 90 to 365 days. No, it's not that. See this. It's not 90 to 365 days. See here, it is 90 to 365 after 90. Got it, Shiva? See here, this 0 days starts after 90 days. So now if I start from this the 0 level, SMA 0 level, it will be 90 over here plus 365 over here. So always remember NPA starts from 0, and these three SMA 0, 1 and 2 are not counted into NPA. Okay. So now as doubtful 2 category, doubtful 2 category will be from here 1 year to 2 year end, I will say. Okay. 1 year means this up to 1 year, it is 1 year end, I'll write it over here. 1 year end. From 1 year end to 2 year end. Okay. This is doubtful 2. From 2 is from doubtful 2 is from 2 year end to. Now look at this. It is not 3 year end. It is 4 year end. Doubtful 2 category stands for 2 years. Okay. So doubtful 1 category is for 1 year and doubtful 2 category is for 2 years. Okay. And after that we have doubtful 3, but that is called generally even they call it loss also. Nowadays RBI has confirmed everything under loss asset then after doubtful 2. Okay, they also, some books call this doubtful 3 and then loss, but the provisioning for doubtful 3 and loss is same. So importantly, again this topic, okay, surely. Importantly, everyone please remember this, because this is very important from the banking perspective also and exam perspective also. I'll just go through this again. Okay. SMA here. If you are, let's say you are a customer of any bank, okay. When you are a customer of any bank and you are paying regular EMIs, so nothing, no problem, everything is okay. Now what happens in for some month, let's say you are in the banking and some month you come to know that the main proprietor of any company has expired and there is no one now to handle the business. Okay. Up to this time, the loan's EMI was working properly. He was regularly paying, but he has expired now. What happens now? There is no one to handle. Okay. Where are you giving the no, we can't download or print it. Okay. Okay, one second. I'll just give you the numbers. Okay. One sec. All those who are facing some problems like admin, you can't download or anything. Na? I'll just give you the numbers of the admin persons. Hold on. Na? I'll just give you the numbers of those admin guys so that you can definitely contact them whenever you require, isn't it? One sec. Yeah, there's one number. Earlier, I'd given you few numbers, right? That I'll give you these numbers again. Okay, I'll type these numbers. Everyone, kindly take down these numbers because what happens if you have any technical problem for downloading or anything, you can directly contact these numbers 82596. One sec. 99829963. 9963. Yeah, this is one number. Okay, this is one number. Second is there is also one. Yeah, this is there is one other cell number 08068 975 975 and then 97272 but call between 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. p.m. This. There are two numbers which I have given. Earlier also I had given you two numbers, okay? So these notes are there are various notes available, okay, on Adda website or that app also. You can download those notes also. Tests are also available. You can go through them also. And if you face any problem, you can directly contact these technical guys, okay? Surely. Because what happens, we are not in the technical part actually. Otherwise, what happens, I'll promise something and it's wrong on the part of the company also, isn't it? It would be a wrong information to everyone. So that's why contact these technical guys. They'll solve your queries immediately. Chalo. Yeah. The topic wise, it's there. Yeah. So coming back to this, everyone pay attention. If you are, if in your bank, if there is some customer who has expired, some loan customer, and you come to know immediately, so that goes into SMS 0 first because up till now, the EMI of that loan is not pending. Everything is going fine, but you come to know that something odd has happened in that organization. Once the first EMI gets pending, then it's easy to understand. Then you can definitely tell if first EMI is pending, it means it has gone into SMA 1. If two EMIs are pending, it has gone into SMA 2. If three EMIs are pending, it means it has become NPA. Then NPA starts with substandard, then doubtful category. First year is substandard. Doubtful category, again first year is D1, we call it doubtful one. It's called as this one, D1. And then this is called as D2, doubtful 2. One is 1 year, means full 1 year. And then up to second year. D2 is second year to fourth year. This D2 is for 2 years always. Okay. And then comes D3 and loss as well. Okay. So from exam point of view, yeah. Mock NPA. What is mock NPA? Okay. Mock NPA means sudden NPA. One more point which I need to tell you. See this. As you have asked this question, mock NPA. See this loss asset. Loss asset means many of you will feel that now this loss asset should move through these categories. Means any loss asset won't become loss asset until it follows these steps. The SMA 0, 1, 2, then substandard, doubtful 1 and doubtful 2 and then loss. But remember, it's not like that. That's called as mock NPA or mock loss, we can call it. What happens is, even some loan is standard, everything is going fine. But what happens one day, immediately you come to know that the owner of that company is absconding, ran away, like that Kingfisher Airlines, okay, Vijay Mallya. Immediately one night absconding. So it was a standard loan earlier, and immediately it went into NPA. NPA means loss basically, because you have to book the loss in that case. That's called as mock NPA, and any mock NPA is generally treated as a loss. Because what happens if it's a mock NPA? It means what? Uh, there is no chance that the customer will be back now, or he'll be back through this legal ways then. So that's why that is called as a loss asset. And always remember, loss asset is not compulsorily required to go through all these steps. Any standard loan can also become in loss asset immediately. Okay. Yeah. So when the customer apply for credit facility from a bank, bank will on request and on payment of the prescribed fee furnish customer copy of the credit information obtained by the bank from the CRA. So what happens is credit information, this report is asked by many of the organizations also. Organizations in the sense, if some government organization asks for some information about some customer, like income tax or sales tax, then we have to provide the report. That report is provided through the CRA. This we directly get a report nowadays. Yeah. Shobhan Gupta. Okay. Array, but this is the English class. Means this is specifically English batch. That's why we have to speak compulsorily in English over here, isn't it? Collection of dues. Bank will post details of recovery agencies, firms, companies engaged by the bank on their website and will also make available on request details of the recovery agents, firms, companies at the branches. Means whoever has been appointed as a DSA by the bank, the name of the DSA should be displayed by the bank on their notice board or on their website also. But nowadays, I've seen in many branches they have displayed the names of the DSAs also. Many nationalized banks I've seen this because this is being followed. We have to display it. Why? What happens is anyone can go means taking a fake name on that I've come from so and so bank and he can do some recovery. So that will give a bad impression or bad image in the eyes of the customer about your bank. So that's why you have to display the names compulsorily. Okay. The bank staff or any person authorized to represent bank in collection of dues or security repossession will identify himself or herself and display the authority letter issued by the bank. So if any DSA or any recovery agent goes to any customer, so that recovery agent should strictly show the letter given by the bank, authority letter given by the bank to that customer. Okay, means to that DSA, specifying that that DSA is appointed by the bank. Generally, they show the I card, but I card is okay. Somebody can ask for the letter also. So anything, see here, I card, any representation is important. Complaints and grievances. Acknowledgement of customers' complaint within a week. Now, this part is very important. Whenever any customer comes to your branch for complaint, okay, many a times what happens, we first try to neglect that customer or move that customer from one desk to another. Always remember an aggrieved customer. Aggrieved means the one who has one who is actually very angry. And if you let the customer move from one desk to another, the customer will get more angry. And any customer who has given the complaint, we need to give the acknowledgement of that complaint. Acknowledgement means what? Not the solution. Acknowledgement means we have received the complaint. Acknowledgement of that customer needs to be given to the customer within 7 working days. Okay. Final response or reason why the bank needs more time to respond within 30 days from the receipt of the customer. So the solution to that query needs to be given within 30 days to that customer. If you can't solve that query within 30 days, give it in writing to that customer that yes, we can't solve it up till now, we are not able to solve it because of so and so reasons, and we are trying to solve it ASAP. But within 30 days, we have to give this reply to that customer. Why 30 days is required over here? Because what happens if you don't give the response within 30 days, then the customer has the right to move to ombudsman. If within 30 days the bank doesn't reply on any query, the customer can go to ombudsman. Okay. Ombudsman is a separate topic that I think so we'll be covering tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Okay. Ombudsman is the main topic in retail banking. So what happens is, that's why any complaint received from the customer needs to be responded. Firstly, acknowledgement needs to be given within 7 days, and the solution needs to be given in 30 days. Banks will acknowledge the receipt of customers' nomination details and record the fact of nomination in the passbook or account statement or FDRs. At the customer's request, bank will also indicate the name of the nominee thereon. So, any passbook means any customer who gives the nomination means for any account, saving, current, FD. So that needs to be displayed in the customer's passbook. Now, the point over here is displayed in the passbook means what? It doesn't mean that the name of the nominee needs to be given in that passbook. Only the point which needs to be mentioned is nomination, yes. That should be mentioned. But what happens if the customer requests you that write the name of the nominee also, then you can definitely write. But without the consent of the customer, you don't write, you should not write on the should not write the nominee's name on the passbook, okay? Because after all, it's a privacy of that customer. Only required need to be disclosed. Yeah, on FD or passbook, correct. You cannot give the name of the nominee, okay, on any passbook or any statement, any communication to any, because what happens tomorrow if somebody, this mainly happens for insurance products. If I know the nominee, okay, then what happens, I can do something mischief, and that nominee's life is endangered. If the amount is huge in the account, then the nominee's life becomes very serious condition, okay. So that's why if the customer request you can give it, otherwise you don't give it. Change in customer's account. If the customer is not happy about the choice of the current or savings account, within 14 days of making the first payment into the account, the bank will help the customer to switch to another account, or bank will give the customer's money back with any interest it may have earned. Bank will ignore any notice period or any extra charges. Means this is a very important point. If the customer has opened an account with you and made the first payment into the account, means first credit into the account. So within 14 days, if the customer is unhappy about the service of the bank, you can shift the account at the request of the customer, not yourself. Okay, you can shift the account, and if the customer wants to close it, then you can definitely close it. You have to close it and give the interest also. Okay. If the customer decides to close his savings or current account, bank will close account within 3 working days of the receiving the customer's instruction. This is very important. 3 working days. Okay. Within 3 working days, we have to close the customer's account. In how many days does your bank close it? Anyone? You close it on the same day, or 1 week, 2 week? Do you close it on the same day? Whenever you receive the this request of closing, same day? Yeah. That's good. In fact, audit also, if you see the concurrent audit of your branch, they also focus that the received stamp of that complaint. Means suppose if the customer has given the closure form, then the received stamp of that closure form and the closing date, these are always tracked. That should not be more than 3 days. Because see here, there's one point in this. Suppose if the customer gives the closure form with the date of, let's say today is what, 26, okay. If the customer gives you a date of 26 account closing form, which he has written the date of 26. So will you consider that date as a date of receipt? No. The date of receipt is the day on which the bank has put the stamp of receipt. Because what happens, customer might have written that instruction to close the form, the account 2 weeks back, but he has presented it today. So in that case, what becomes important is your receipt. Okay. If the customer sends the account closing form through post, then what? Even in that case, the receipt is very important. So within receipt, after the receipt, you must close it in 3 working days. Okay. The minimum balance to be maintained in the savings account will be displayed in the branches. Now, minimum balance concept is gone. Now it is what ADB, right? Average daily. No, AMB now you're having, right? Not ADB. Some banks do have ADB. Foreign banks have ADB. Yeah. So MAB you call it, right? Yeah. QAB, quarterly balance. Sure, it depends now. What happens is many of the banks have shifted to average monthly balances. Some of the banks are still in average quarterly balances. Okay. Some banks are there in AQB and some banks are there in AMB. Yeah, it is QAB. Acha, for current accounts, you have still QAB. Okay. See, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Negative balance. Okay. Means I didn't get it. Negative balance in the sense? In how can there be a negative balance in saving current? For charges. Yeah, it may be due to charges. But otherwise, you can't have a negative balance in the customer's account. Yeah, private banks do have negative balance. Here, negative balance can be there in customer's account in nationalized banks also. It's not that. Here, the point is, suppose I'm your customer. Imagine, and I keep a zero balance into your account, and you have some charges, some checkbook charges. I request for some checkbook or some statement or anything, and I don't have money in that. Then what happens? This charges will be debited by the bank automatically. System debits it nowadays, right? So that account will go into negative balance. So negative balance can be there due to system generated operations, but it can't be there because of some clearing difference. Means there some check had come for clearing and then the account went into negative balance. That is not allowed. Some charges wise that is allowed. Okay. So coming back to this, AMB now many of the banks use the AMB concept now. So AMB to be displayed in the branches. Some banks who are using AQB, they can display AQB also. Bank will inform any change in the minimum balance means AMB to be maintained 30 days in advance. Means if there is any change or shifting from AQB to AMB or the balance has been changed, so 30 days in advance you need to inform. But how will you inform? The main way of informing is number one, display it in the branches. Number one. Number two, put it on the website. Number three, if possible, send the SMS to those customers. But I am saying if possible, it's not compulsory. Okay. Yeah. Dormant or inoperative accounts. Now, dormant account means what? Okay. First, let's customer will in 3 months before the customer account is classified as dormant. That is separate. Okay. What is called as dormant or inoperative account? When does the account become dormant or inoperative? Any customers? Anyone? Any idea? Many of the banks follow 6 months rule. Yeah, no KYC that is there. Many of the banks still follow 6 months rule, but 6 months rule is not the correct rule. Okay, dormant or inoperative becomes the account becomes that when it is 2 years. Correct, correct. 2 years. Okay, not using the account for 2 years. Now the point in this is for 2 years I'll definitely classify it as inoperative or dormant. But I'll ask you one question. If I'm having some FD, okay, and the monthly interest of that FD is being credited into my savings account as per the SI, standing instructions. Now I am not using that account at all, but monthly interest is being credited using SI. So will that account become dormant after 2 years? Anyone? You got my point? Correct? No, no, it won't become dormant. See here, I'll tell you one important part, okay? It won't become dormant. The point is this. Understand everyone. Huh? What am I telling you now? Understand everyone. The point is, if it's a customer induced standing instruction, understand this word, customer induced standing instruction, and because of that, the account is getting credited, then it's not a dormant account. See here, transfer the saving, this interest of FD into savings account. Who had given that instruction? I. I was a customer, I had given it in that FD form. So what does it mean? It means that I wanted that interest to be credited. Means I'm crediting every month into that savings account. Okay. Second similar question. If I've given a standing instruction for debit to the savings account for RD, means I have opened one RD and given one standing instruction. Now every month that amount of 2000 goes from my account, but I am not operating anywhere else this account. So what will happen? Will this account become dormant or it won't be dormant? RD. I have given a standing instruction to debit my savings account. It won't become dormant. It won't. Okay. It won't become dormant. So here again I am telling you, any customer induced, understand this, customer induced standing instruction for credit or debit, both. If that happens, then it's not a dormant account. Okay. So number one, that is the rule is for 2 years now. If there is there are no operations in that account for 2 years, then it is called as the same. Okay. Now any credits are like NEFT, IMP, then also it will be, no. See here, if there is any NEFT credit into that account, then also it is not a dormant account, because after all there is a credit, isn't it? NEFT, anything. But one important part I'll tell you, because of which it can become dormant. Yeah, that's what I was coming to. Shukrant, your question only. If there is an interest credit of the savings account into the same savings account, then will it become dormant? Yes, then it will become dormant. Okay. If the interest of the same savings account is credited into the same saving account, then it will become dormant. Okay. So that is the point. Other than savings account, if there is any other thing coming into the account because of the customer's instructions, in that case, it won't become dormant. Clear, everyone? Yeah. Bank induced, correct. If it's a bank induced transaction, then there are chances that the account will become dormant. But if it's a customer induced transaction, then it won't become dormant. Okay. Now the point over here is, then we'll conclude for today. The point over here is, firstly, the 2 years rule is there. Means it should be inoperative for 2 years, number one. And whenever it becomes inoperative, you have to inform the customer 3 months before. Let's see, you have not operated this account for 2 years. So now I'll make your account dormant or inoperative. Okay. Bank will not charge the customer for activation of that inoperative account. Now that is also an important part. If some account is inoperative and the customer wants to make it operative, how will you do it? We generally do it using the KYC form, taking the KYC of that customer again, and then do that KYC norms and regularize the account. Okay. So that way these dormant accounts can be made operative again. Chalo, we'll stop over here now. Okay. Tomorrow again, 7 p.m. Manually, regularly, then the account won't. No. Correct. Megnath, then it won't be dormant. Okay. One transaction should be shown. Yeah. One transaction should be shown. Even single transaction is okay. Okay. Chalo, bye.